Working for you, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to you, Mr. Richard.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I have, let me see, three parts here. Number one, how soon will we see a national sports policy? Two, the CPL. CPL is in existence now for how long? And we have hosted it in this country for how many times now? And to this day, to this time, me personally, and a lot of others, I believe, we haven't seen a team, a group of men have been prepared to take part in the CPL as St. Kitts Patriots. All right? And I don't know if there are any plans afoot to really train men, or if there is a process in place right now where we have men trained for this game in the future. Because persons, the Patriot team that we have, none of them have ever placed as far as we're concerned. And it's sure we're a lot of games. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know what is patriotic about them. They have no nothing, in them to really have an allegiance, so to speak, to this country. At the end of the day, they have been paid. I do believe if we have men here, there will be a need, they will see the need to play and to win. If they don't win, no problem, but as long as we are satisfied that they have given their best. And I do believe if we have men, they will play and they can play very well to win. That is not to say that some of these men may not be chosen for other teams. Now, people like to talk about franchise. Okay? It seems like only in St. Kitts alone this thing about franchise exists. I want to know if this franchise doesn't exist for the other Caribbean islands. And to me, it seems like a lot of these other Caribbean islands have a say in what takes place with the players being in these teams. To me, it seems like hardly anything is being done from St. Kitts' end. Okay, I don't really want this to be a discussion.
You had 4 questions.
Wait, I have
two. You have
else.
2 more?
Please.
Yes.
1 more. Right? Okay, let me come off of that. Maybe you understand. Since I cannot complete it, no problem. But in terms of this marijuana, Mr. Richards, you are part of this new administration. On the books, it says that marijuana is illegal. Our people are criminalized for the use of this plant, which is natural. Yet, there is marijuana products on supermarkets on our shelf. Products that people go and buy. It comes under the name of hemp. They call it hemp, but hemp and marijuana are the same. I would like to know if our law here is illegal, where they lock our men up or they have to pay money, right? Criminalize them. Yet we have this product on the shelf, and up to now nothing has been done to take it off. I want to know what is going to be done, because isn't this a conflict of interest where we will keep on criminalizing our men, but yet we have the same product that is illegal on the shelves? I'll listen up here.
Thank you, caller. Working for you, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone, including Mr. Sean.
Good afternoon.
For the CPL, we talk about being the sports department and also the cricket association. I think those 2 things must work out there or iron out their differences. As a vendor, in a sense, at the CPL, we find there were a lot of conflicts in terms of the sports department and the cricket association. So I would hope that you work on something like that to get it to be more cohesive in terms of dealing with the vendors. Secondly, I went to Nevis over the past couple of days or weeks, and I realized the international show that they had there, the facilities were somewhat up to date. They didn't have a whole lot of barricades. They didn't have a whole lot of things. The bars are well situated. Maybe that's something like this could work in St. Kitts as well. When it comes to the CPL, especially being on the mound, they might have a sort of temporary, permanent structure which they can maybe make a slab across the mound, and everything will be uniform. Because when you look at it on television, it's sort of hodgepodge, and you want to make it sort of uniform to have the bars maybe constructed in a manner that will look presentable to the outside world. And lastly, this may not be your area of expertise, but service industry attitude of people. I went to the hospital yesterday. Coming out the room, I had a mask on, and I said to the nurse at the front desk, where can I find a disposable that I could put this in? And she looked at me at least for 5-10 seconds before she can literally say to me, oh, give it to me. Why? The same thing with business people. I went and I've been abroad for quite a while, and I came home to live. And I went to get a Social Security card, and they're telling me a lot of nonsense. People abroad get Social Security cards from the time they were born. Why is it that you can't walk into the system and get a Social Security card? It is very frustrating when you come, and the only thing they can do or say to you when you come, who send you? Like Sean Richards have to send me in order for me to get a Social Security card. Nonsense.
Okay,
This
caller.
is your rite of passage. Why do you have so much problems getting anything done in business? I went to the National Bank, and the people upstairs didn't facilitate what's going on downstairs, and it's one transaction. Why? It is too difficult to get business done. But yet, the Switzerland, the whomever that come from abroad walk into the place and get everything done because they are of a different color. I know the system in terms of when you're in the Caribbean, as long as you have the complexion, it's okay. Living in abroad, as long as you have the money, you get things done.
Okay,
It
caller.
should not be like that.
Thank you so much for your concern. Working for you, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon again, Mr. William and Mr. Deputy Prime Minister. I didn't say decentralization, I said centralization of public. I come from a wide aspect of the global world. So that is why I defend it, not just think it's a news alone, because we are seeing it hitting our small region them in a hectic way within trading agreements where we sign on so foolishly and blindsidedly and making our people suffer these consequences. And you are telling me you are talking about decentralization of power?
It's centralization of power.
People, make the people understand the thing that is facing us heavily when it comes to these big countries challenging us in these trade agreements, man. You are failed to admit these kind of things. The farm administration do it, and I come to do the same thing, man. Come on, I start education, and I got wise man, and I still moving.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Okay, we'll give the minister an opportunity to answer the callers.
Let me start with our last caller and to apologize to the caller for misunderstanding what he spoke or what he questioned me about. Caller, forgive me for not clearly understanding you. Perhaps if you had been a little clearer in asking your question,
Yes.
I would have responded to what you intended for me to speak to. So again, caller, my apologies. If I was to make a guess, based on what he said, maybe he is speaking about centralization of power from the point of view of perhaps the OECS or CARICOM for a region to come together and you have one sort of centralized government for the region. But I am supposing, and caller, if that is what you're referring to, of course there are merits to doing so. There are disadvantages to doing so.
But we have
I
CARICOM.
do believe that it will take a bigger discussion outside our St. Kitts and Nevis, within and outside our St. Kitts and Nevis, to look at centralization of power. There are some treaties which are in place. Perhaps we need to analyze what has happened thus far to determine whether those trade agreements, for example, are working in our best interest, and to see how they can be improved so that it becomes a work in progress towards the ultimate centralization of power. I hope I have answered your question, caller. Again, my apologies. How soon will we see a national sports policy? That is a work in progress. We are currently working on our national youth policy. We are working on the national cultural policy, and those are well advanced. We're expecting someone from UNESCO to be in the Federation in the month of September to assist us with the national youth policy, and that is also being done in conjunction with the Commonwealth. And it's not just about the national youth policy, but ensuring that the youth department, that we have a strategic plan in place, etc. And basically bringing some semblance of direction to the youth department. So we are working on the sports policy, the youth policy, and the cultural policy. CPL, how long CPL exists, training of persons from here in St. Kitts and Nevis to be team members. CPL has been in existence, I think, maybe about
I think it's about 4 years.
4 to 5 years. I know we had the semi and the finals here in 2014 and again this year. The training of persons, that is one of the reasons, Carla, why we decided to make the investment in CPL, because we need to develop our own local cricketers. I take your point that we need to see more local persons on the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots team, but in the absence of that at this point in time, we had, I think, 2 persons, and we're trying to get more persons involved. WICB, for example, would have had a meeting here earlier this year, and we recognize there are some gaps. For example, you're going to the schools, you have the Scotiabank Kiddies cricket, but between that critical age of 13 to 17, 18, we recognize that we need to put some programs in there so that you have a continuation of persons playing cricket. So from the primary school into the secondary school, and then to have the different club teams around the island of St. Kitts and Nevis. Those, I think, will help to develop cricket here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Of course, you have the Cricket Academy, and the Patriots has been making an investment in the Cricket Academy here in St. Kitts, and they are also building one in Nevis, because the Patriots itself wants to ensure that there is a local pool of persons upon which they can draw for the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots team. The decriminalization of marijuana, yet hemp is sold. What will be done from a legal standpoint? I am really a little ignorant on that one, and so I would have to seek some clarification from the Office of the Attorney General before I can really do justice to that question. Conflict between Sports Department and the local Cricket Association, and I don't know if the caller is speaking to some of what you could have sold from what you can't sell, or what you could not have sold at CPL. I know we had some issues there, and those we were trying to work out on a day-to-day basis, but Carl, I agree with you that going forward we need to be clear from day one. The structure for the bars, etc. at cricket, that, Carla, is also something we're working on. Earlier I spoke to a memorandum of understanding between the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, apart from the VIP section, which we want to turn into a permanent bar, so you have a revenue stream there on a daily basis. The plan is also to build permanent bars on the mound to assist, as I just said, with the Cricket Academy, upgrade the corporate boxes, and quite a number of other things. So, Carla, hopefully at the next round of CPL next year, some of those things will actually be in place. The service attitude of persons. Some places you go to, you get poor customer service, and there are others you are delighted to go back because of the customer service that you receive. I believe that generally our people need to recognize that they are working because they are customers. And employers, I know, in some instances they try their very best to get these persons to be customer friendly, but I suppose that training has to be ongoing to ensure that you get the very best from customers. The social security card, I laugh as you spoke about that. I myself, I had been a US citizen at one point in time when I had my green card immediately upon moving to St. Thomas. Whether or not you're working, you were given a social security number. That number follows you throughout your entire life, even as you enroll into university, for example. That became my ID number, etc. We do have a different culture here. We do things differently here. And you're only issued a social security card when you are ready to work in St. Kitts and Nevis. The authorities must know their reasons for doing that, and maybe with time changes will be made. I know that when I was issued a social security card here in St. Kitts and Nevis, it was an orange, I think, piece of paper. You had on your name, your social security number, and perhaps your date of birth. And since then, we have now moved to a social security card with picture and everything on it, a card which isn't easily made, so that in terms of counterfeit cards, I think they ensured that there are some security features, etc. Even in terms of driver's license. Previously, when you got a driver's license, I think it was a piece of card, a picture was on it, and so I guess with time, as the social security system is reviewed, that determination will be made. For example, we're speaking about a national health insurance policy. I don't know if when that comes, perhaps it may require some changes in terms of when you are issued a social security card, etc. Voters ID, for example, there was a time when we had no voters ID in St. Kitts. So as we evolve as a federation, there's some things which will change, and of course part of it is the public indicating to the necessary authorities that there are some changes which we would like it to make. And just as you spoke about customer service coming from individuals, customer service must also come from corporations themselves, and so I do believe that they will respond once they feel it is in the best interest to implement what it is that the public is asking for. I hope I have answered all of the questions which were posed.
Okay, we are going to take two more questions, at least 2 or 3 more questions before we wrap up. Working for you, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. William and Mr. Richard.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my question is, why you all want to go back and build the high school? You all need to condemn the spot they did for over 60 or more years a show. With people going there to school, I believe we contaminate, as they say. And remember the thing soak into the earth, you know, no worry, no play about the book, go back, build it again. First thing you're going to look so bad in our side to say, it wasn't good, we unity people, and then now they say, no, it's good now. So we're going to take it and make a parking lot. Cause I told Mr. Dougie, a couple of years ago, we need parking lot, and I ain't seen it yet. We went and full up a spot, we're going up there by TDC. So they're going to do some kind of ground museum, they call it recreation ground for people to go in the cool out and sports thing. Right? So we don't need that. And yes, the lady is right. I heard people came here and they don't just go and get a social security card as they clip the finger, was maybe they paying the thing for when you get your permit, your work permit. I am out to get your work permit. If I heard about it first, it seems as though you ain't got to have a work permit to get it. I think, let me speak the truth. So the lady is right. I don't know what thing. Sometimes, what I say, Mr. Richard, I don't want you all come and do like the other government was in. I always question myself, if you're over area, that the sports, you're like a certain time of the month, you call up, you're the over the government, Mr. Timothy, call your principal, what's going on in your area, what you do yesterday, and how the CPL come off and where, give some kind of info. Not just one Lagos, so everybody come down, so like when you look at them and say, they put their hand in the cookie jar, and some the cookie missing, and some get crumble, and then You can't get them back together. You gotta recook them again and you got to throw them in the mixer. I don't want to hear that. And next thing I want to ask again, why are you taking out the levy for housing in Social Security? And that all it missing get a house to Mr. Richard. I rally around this government years now. And up to now I cannot get me house. And I don't pay social. Right now I have a lady working with me and I have to pay the social levy.
Okay,
and
caller.
I think one of y'all need to come and give me a system because I rally. I don't have no money. I don't over age. I'm 60 years.
Okay, caller, we are almost out of time.
Hello?
We are almost out of time. So thank you very much for your concern.
I'm going early next week because I have a lot to say. So
yes, okay.
don't worry about the Boston school. We're going to get a new ground. Put it as a parking lot.
Okay. Okay, caller, thank you so much. Okay, Minister, you can answer those few questions.
Let me make it clear. At no point in time I said we are going to build the new Bastia High School at the old site. I said, and I repeat, that there were 5 suggested sites by Sustainable Development, and indeed, the site of the old Bastia High School had been included. The persons who gave the ranking, the different committees who gave the rankings for in order of priority when they looked at impact on the environment, etc. The old site, as far as I recall, did not rank in the first 3. It perhaps would have been ranked last. You saw that the old site is not being looked at as a priority site, as the best site to build a new Bastia High School. However, in being transparent, in being open, in being given all of the information to the public, I have indicated where the 5 possible sites which were given by Sustainable Development are located. The caller spoke to Social Services Levy and she indicated that she has not received a house as yet. Caller, as I said earlier, we have a 5-year mandate and we will be building a next set of houses very shortly, and so there is still hope that you can receive a house.
Minister Richards, I think that we are out of time. Is there anything that you would like to say before we part?
In closing, I think I want to go back to the fact that we are having a town hall meeting in Sandy Point tomorrow, our discussion for prosperity. And that is what we are saying to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a prosperity agenda, an agenda to make the lives of Kittitians and Nevisians much better off. That is what we are working towards. As I answered the questions that you would have asked of me, in some instances I would have been able to indicate to you how our prosperity agenda fits into what we are doing and what you would want to see us doing on behalf of all of the people. I said to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that you have voted for a Team Unity administration. Team Unity is working for you. We have promised you your fair share, and we do hope that you will receive your fair share. The Prime Minister said at our recent town hall meeting that it is our intention to make a next $20 million available as part of the Fresh Start program. We are working towards that. I have said to you that before the end of the year, we expect to start building the brand new Bastia High School. We are working towards that. The Minister of Public Infrastructure, he has spoken to you about new roads, etc. We are working towards that. I spoke to you about the building of homes. We are working towards that. Ministry of Culture, we are looking at building a brand new carnival village facility. We are hoping that we can start that before the end of the year. And there are a number of programs, a number of capital projects that we are planning to bring on stream. continue to support your government. And as I also say to persons, feel free to ask questions, feel free to criticize, because we are here to listen to you. That is what this program is about. That is what our town hall meeting tomorrow evening is about. That partnership between the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the government.
Well, Minister, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program today at such short notice and for sharing with us very candidly and, giving us a lot of information in terms of what the government is doing for the people. I want to thank all the callers. I want to thank all of you who listen to today's program. Those of you who continue from week to week to give feedback to the government. We appreciate you doing so very much. I am your host, Lesroy Williams. This has been another edition of Working for You. Remember, tomorrow from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. there's a rebroadcast on Freedom FM, and from 10:30 to 12 p.m. there's another rebroadcast on Vaughan Radio in Nevis. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Lesroy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for You is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for You.